Hello, Mark Larsen here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. My guest today is Evyn Carpenter. Welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on the Dreamcatcher. So we haven't really known each other, and actually have just met briefly.
Mm.
Um, we were actually, I think, it was the Fourth of July at
Yes.
Junto, which is a winery where do you still work there?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And that's one of my favorite places. I mean, awesome wine and awesome surroundings. So how long have you worked at Junto?
I'm going on about 4 months or so. I started working there this summer,
Okay.
so not very
Okay.
long.
Okay. Tell the audience a little background about Evan. So, where are you from and what's going on in your life?
Yeah, so I am originally from Houston, Texas, and right now I am a student at Concordia University in Seward, Nebraska. I'm studying. I'm a double major, so I'm
Oh,
studying
wow.
secondary history education, and then I am also studying. It's a degree called Christian Educational Leadership. It's
Okay.
basically a church work degree, so it allows me to work in the Lutheran Church as a director of Christian education. So I have
Nice.
those two career paths going for me right now. I'm a part of the Concordia women's basketball team as a manager. So I take stats, I run the clock, I go to games,
Wow.
all the little things. Yes, all the behind the scenes is all I do.
I
Yep.
feel really lazy. Do you
Yeah.
sleep?
And then I'm also a power lifter at Concordia as well. So
Wow. So, how long
yes.
have you been doing that?
Powerlifting, I've just recently gotten into it
Okay.
competitively, but I've been weightlifting my entire life. My dad, he's a football coach back in Texas, and so my earliest memories is just him taking me to school and babysitting
Awesome.
me, and his form of babysitting is just sticking me in the weight room, and then I've just fallen in love with it. And this year is the first year I'm doing it competitively, so it's been a roller coaster so far.
Awesome. So competitively, I mean, whole United States, or is there an area that you compete in, or?
Yeah, so there's local competitions that we have just in the state of Nebraska, but
Okay.
um, all of these competitions, there's also national competitions as well. So I'm not just limited to just schools in Nebraska or just schools in the Midwest. Later on in the season, they'll have a national meet, which
Okay.
I have the opportunity of going to if I get the right numbers in. So yeah, so it's a national event. I get to
Amazing.
compete with
Awesome.
people all over. So
So if I wanted to come see you sometime, is there something close by in Nebraska that, I Cheryl and my wife and I could come see you?
yeah, so there's actually a meet happening in a couple weeks. I won't be attending that one. I'll be elsewhere that weekend,
Okay.
but there's a Concordia hosts meets. Midland University also hosts a couple meets as well. Um, and yeah, there's just a couple odd and in competitions here and
Okay.
there, but mainly those two schools.
Awesome. So how much do you lift?
Well, it depends on what movement we're doing. Like,
Uh-huh.
there's bench press, there's back squat, and then there's deadlift. Um, right now, I'm not really sure where my max lifts are at, just because I haven't tested them yet. But
Okay.
I would say bench press is about 165
Okay.
the pounds. That is,
Okay.
and then I would say maybe back squats probably around um, really hope it's up to 315 if I
Wow.
can get up there, and then deadlift, I would hope it's around the 315, 330 mark
Uh,
as well.
I'm not going to the gym with you.
Yeah.
No. I mean, oh, wow. So is there a place at the school, I suppose, where you work out, or? Okay.
Yes, yeah, it's at school.
So what is
Yeah.
the student population for Concordia?
Um, I would want to say it's or I don't know, maybe I want to say around 8,000, maybe 6,000.
Okay.
It's not too terribly big, but it's definitely like
That's nice.
you go on campus and you will definitely see a lot of people around. So,
Okay. So what got you from Texas to Seward, Nebraska?
honestly, I think it's just my story about getting up here is such a like a God's plan
I know
story
how
just
those go.
because
Yes.
yeah, So I originally didn't even know that Concordia University existed.
Okay.
As I was like a junior or senior in high school, the original plan was to play basketball collegiately, and so I had a couple of offers to some small JUCO schools, some small D3 school, not D3, but NAIA equivalent
Okay.
schools. Um, but then Concordia University popped up on my radar. It's a great teachers college. And then I saw that they had a great basketball program. The thing is I wasn't guaranteed a spot on the basketball team, so
Okay.
I had to choose between, do I want to go to a school that where I'm guaranteed a spot and I'm not really sure what kind of education I'm going to get,
Right.
or do I go to a school where I know I'm going to be in a Christ-centered environment, I know I'm going to get a good education,
Yes.
but basketball is a question mark. So I kind of went out on a limb. I went to the middle of a state that I've never been to before, and
Oh,
um,
really? Oh, wow.
yeah, so basketball and didn't end up working out for me, but I mean, powerlifting has opened up a door for me, and I've met some amazing people, and I've really enjoyed the community at Concordia. So it's honestly been such a blessing in disguise just being
Cool.
here.
You just never know. So was
Mhm.
Nebraska what you thought it'd be like?
I didn't really have an idea of what it'd be like. I
Okay.
thought it was just going to be flat lands, which it kind of is,
It is, yeah.
but I wasn't expecting all the corn. I wasn't expecting all the small towns. There's a lot of small towns.
There
Um,
are tremendous amount.
Yeah, but and I've come to really love Lincoln as well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Lincoln is.
it's been more than I expected it to be.
So do you go back to Texas at all then, or do you?
I
Yeah.
Yes, I do. So I like to spend time up here and just kind of live the life that I'm living up here. But whenever
Sure.
I do go back home, usually it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, other holidays like that. Um, I try to get back home as much as I can, maybe about 4 to 5 times a year.
Okay.
But when I do go home, it's awesome. I
I
get to
bet.
see family and friends.
So do
So
you have siblings? Do you have quite a few siblings, or?
I just have one older brother, and
Okay.
he's a graduate from Concordia University,
Oh,
but
really? Okay.
he's back home in Houston right now.
So what did you go to school for then?
He got a major in criminal justice
Oh,
and then
wow.
a minor in pre-law.
Oh, wow. Okay. Those are
Yeah.
both, I mean, that's pretty good. So,
Yes.
where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
Man, 5 years. I probably see myself either like becoming a teacher,
Okay.
either in like a Lutheran school or a Christian school somewhere. Um, I'm a really passionate not only about education but also faith formation.
Yes.
Um, and then if I'm not teaching, I could also see myself working in a church somewhere, also working with kids, and doing faith formation there. So I'm not really too sure where that's going to lead me just yet.
And none of us do that. You just have to. I love that with kids and faith because I mean,
Mhm.
I've done there's so many lost kids, and
Mhm.
I just talked to these people that run a church at the Lutheran church, and they said the kids get confirmed and then they never see them again.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like they were saying that was so sad. And I told them that I can't imagine not having the background and basis of that, church period when I was growing up and everything. I mean, I
Mhm.
talk to God daily. He directs me almost every day to go whatever direction I need to go. And
Mhm.
I just can't imagine not having that as a base. So how are the kids receptive, or you think they'll be receptive to being with faith?
Mhm.
I know there's kids out there with faith. Do you
Mhm.
think there are less kids now, or what do you think on that? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about there.
Yeah, I understand. I think within kids, I think kids are definitely very curious people,
Hmm.
more curious than I think most adults are.
Yeah.
And because of that curiosity, I think a lot of kids are very inclined to believe in something or find things to believe in. And it's I don't think it's to say that kids have a lack of faith nowadays, but
Okay.
I think we do live in a generation, especially the kids growing up now, where beliefs and ideas are so easy to come upon just with social media, with the
True.
internet.
Oh yeah.
These students can go to the internet, go onto social media, YouTube, whatever, and they can see so many different ideas.
Yeah.
And because they're such curious people, they're probably going to explore all these ideas. So
Right.
I think it's just really important that as these students go explore these different ideas, especially in faith,
Hmm.
as like a teacher, as a Christian, to guide those students along that path. And obviously, we're going to be advocates for Christ, and we're going
Right.
to be like, hey, yes, there are other worldviews out there, but especially me, and I hope that you do as well, have this perspective through a Christian lens, using scripture to guide you as you
Yes.
figure out life around you.
Yes.
That's kind of my goal, or my future goal is, if once I get into the teaching sector or the church sector, that um, I'm just going to allow students to kind of figure out the world around them through the lens of what Christ says
Awesome.
about them as well. So,
Love that.
yeah.
That's so nicely said. So since it's a Dreamcatcher podcast, when you were growing up and still kind of, you're just, what were the dreams? Was it what you're doing now when you were growing up?
I I think for work, I never really knew what I wanted to do until I was about a senior in high school. I kind of toyed with some other ideas, like, oh, maybe I would be good at like athletic training, and then
Sure.
figured out I can't do good with blood. So I was like, I don't think I
Okay.
can do that one.
Yeah.
Um, but I think I really just landed on teaching, just because my father, he's a teacher as well, and he's been a teacher for many years, and just seeing the impact that he's had has influenced the way that I think about things, and the way my perspective of the world. And it's honestly, te- I I feel like I'm not appreciative enough of the way that he has kind of been that role model for me. So
Yeah.
my senior year of high school, I think that was when I initially got the dream of being, you know what, I think I want to be an impact for the next generation in the
Yeah.
best way that I can.
Yeah. And teacher, I mean, everything, both those, I mean, you will have such an impact on
Hmm.
kids and so important today. I've had two podcasts with the kids in suicide, preteens,
Hmm.
and how prevalent that is in the United States.
Hmm.
And I think, and I admire, I've had teachers in back in my family, and
Hmm.
they've taken early retirement because of the way the school systems have, kind of turned in. And the one, she'd done it like over 30 years.
Yeah.
And it was sad that it had gotten to that point because she loved teaching. So,
Hmm.
where would you want to teach? Get a,
The goal right now is to eventually start teaching in Texas.
okay,
So I love my time in Nebraska. Maybe I'll spend a couple extra years here after graduation, teaching or working at a church somewhere. But the end goal, as I obviously subject to change at this point,
sure.
but as of right now, the end goal is to move back to Texas, find a good church and school,
Yep.
back home, and just continue to live my life down there.
Texas is good. I mean, I've been to the airport in Houston, but I mean, I told you the other day that I lived in that Dallas area for a little while, and I mean, I like
Oh yeah. Hmm.
actually ski, and I like Texas as kind of its own country. I
I
like
I love
I
Texas
just
so much.
it's awesome. I had a great
Hmm.
time. I love Texas. So would
Hmm.
you move probably back down to Houston, or would that be?
Um, Maybe not so Houston. I'm looking kind of more towards the San Antonio area
Oh,
is kind of
nice.
where I'm thinking to go. Just because I mean, I've explored a lot of Texas, but the San Antonio, Texas Hill Country area is a place that's really kind of um been very close to my heart, and so I really
Okay.
want to spend some
Perfect.
time down there.
So not Austin. I hear Austin. I've never been to Austin, but I sure hear a lot about Austin.
Yeah,
I mean,
Austin's got the we call them, or their slogan is keep Austin weird, and so there's definitely a very particular crowd that lives in Austin,
okay.
and they're just not my people. But I love Austin as a city. I just
Oh,
let them do their own thing.
that's awesome. So,
Yeah.
so okay, going back to where we met at Junto. How
Mhm.
did you know the people that run Junto, or how did you end up working there?
Yeah, so one of my old teammates, she used to work there, and she was leaving Concordia. She was graduating, and because of that, she was also leaving her job at Junto. And so she was like, "Hey, Junto's looking to hire. Where there's a couple people leaving because they're graduating. Is anyone interested?" So I just filled out an application, just because wineries have kind of like, this sounds odd, but wineries have actually been kind of a simple part of my life since growing
Okay,
up, because my family, we always do like girls trips with the family, and so me,
sure,
my mom, aunts, grandparents,
awesome. I like
um
that.
we would go out and just like go to these different wineries. Most of the time I would just sit there and just listen to them chat away. But I grew up just going to these places and just hanging out, and it's been such an amazing part. And I think they're awesome. So I was like, you know what? I think it'd be great to work at a winery. Like, I know I've been through a lot of them. I
Uh-huh.
know a little bit about wine, and I
There you
think I'm
go.
good at conversation. So,
So do you like the taste of wine?
every when I get a couple sips here and there, I actually do kind of like it.
Okay.
It's a very particular taste. I like how each wine has a different characteristic to
It
it.
is
So,
amazing. Yes.
yeah.
When I was your age, I did not care for wine. It was just like, why would anybody drink this? But it is acquired taste, and it is amazing how even at Junto, how each one has such a unique
Mhm.
taste onto its its own. So,
Yes.
so what are
Yeah.
some other things you like to do in your spare time? Which I don't know if you have.
Yeah, well, the spare time I do have, I do enjoy just being with friends.
Okay.
Like I said, I've made a amazing community. I've been a part of amazing community at Concordia, and especially in Seward. Um, and because of that, I just have an amazing group of friends that I have here. I have an amazing group of friends back home, and
Hmm.
whenever I have free time, I love spending it with them, just because they fill my life with so much joy, and I love spending time with them. So it's usually just playing games with them, watching TV
Cool.
with them. Um,
It's awesome.
yeah, that's basically it.
So you're such a great speaker. Do you speak in front of people?
Not it depends on the situation. I am usually asked to do a couple of like team devotions
Okay.
around campus. When I was in high school, I was our student body chaplain. So so I think I led a school chapel twice. So I was in front of about 200 students, just talking for about 15 minutes
Wow.
the about scripture. And yeah, so I've definitely learned to be a good orator and learn to speak in front of people and speak confidently. That's one of the things I think I do best, is speak confidently, and I really do enjoy doing it as well. So
I can tell. Yeah, I can just see the passion there. So, and it doesn't bother you to speak in front of like 200 people.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
Hmm.
so what else? I mean, what else would you like to do since you're just getting ready to start your life, really?
Hmm.
What are some other things you would like to do with your adult life?
Man, I don't. With my adult life, I feel like there's so much, and I think that's the cool thing about it, is that I don't really know what I want to do with it just yet. Obviously, I have a deep passion for education and teaching, and
Right.
I also have a passion just for health and athletics and stuff like that. So having my life unfold in a way in which I can pursue both of those paths in my life, both of those interests, that'd be awesome. But one thing I've definitely learned so far in my life is that I could try to imagine what 10 years down the road could look like, but at where I'm sitting right now is not where I thought I would be in 10 years. So
It
when
only
I look back
continues.
on yeah, when I look
The
on my
best
adult
laid
life,
plans.
I'm not too
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
So
So do you like to travel or have you traveled?
I feel like a lot of people in my generation do like to travel. I'm definitely more of a homebody.
Okay.
I love being at home. I mean, I like traveling to an extent where it's like, oh, we're just gonna go here for a weekend or go there.
Sure.
But
Okay.
um, if it means like, I'm not a big fan of like going out for a week to some random place. I think it's
Okay.
good to do every once in a while. Obviously, I think it's good to go explore the world that we live in. But
Yeah.
I like my little house. I like my little town, and I like
And
the
you
people in it.
sport a lot. That's very
Yeah.
important. So do you like to write?
I actually do. I don't really do it much. I'm a big fan of poetry. I love
Okay.
poetry. And so I'm sure everyone at some point in time was like, "Oh, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to write a book." And I think that was me at some point, but
Okay.
um I think one of my just like my secret hobbies is I like to write little poems about like what I'm feeling, what's happening in life, and how
Very
to
cool.
yeah, so it's definitely it's not something I share with people, but it's just something I write for myself, and then I can look back on it and be like, wow, like
Okay.
I was trying to be creative, and I was definitely feeling these things at this time, and it's kind of like journaling in a way. So,
Journaling is awesome. So, and
oh
they'll look
yeah.
back on these when you're famous, and they'll say, "Look at all these poets you wrote."
Yeah,
I mean, who's some favorite poets that you like to read?
man. I the even though this is not the way that I like to write, Edgar Allan Poe has always been one. I
Okay.
thought even though his writing is very dark and gloomy, he wrote with a lot of creative like motifs and a lot of passion, and so those are the same things I kind of like to write with, where it's like I want to think about what's lying deeper underneath everything. You know, with
Okay.
every metaphor, there's always a meaning underneath it. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So, if a young person came to you and was kind of down and not very, they didn't see anything positive about their life, how would you get them to look at it a different way?
And I think the best way to answer that question is thinking about the times where I assess the moments in which I feel down. Whenever I do feel like I'm in a bad place, I
Uh-huh.
always ask myself, like, okay, even though I'm feeling these emotions, where are the blessings and all of the bad things, you know?
Yeah.
Because even though things may seem dark at times and issues may feel like they're like shadowing over you,
Hmm.
there is always a blessing. There's always something
Amen.
to look forward to. There's always hope. Um, and so just finding those little blessings. And another thing that I just find comfort in is just knowing that like Christ is my redeemer and in
Yes.
all things I have strength in him.
Yes.
Um, and I know, especially if I was to say that to somebody else, maybe if they're like not a Christian, that may not mean as much to them. But
Hmm.
um, I think having a sense of faith and a sense of hope can go go beyond our farthest imaginations of
Yeah.
what it can help us get through. And just yeah, just believing that this moment is not the only moment that we'll live in. Our
Yes.
life is a mosaic of all these different moments, all these highs and lows, and so
Yep.
just realizing that hey, this might feel really low right now, but with every low there's a high. You
It
know, there's
is.
always a brighter side.
Amen. I've got two questions. So, have you always had faith, and have
Mm-hmm.
you ever thought about being a motivational and inspirational speaker?
Um, yes, I've always had faith. I'm very
Okay.
thankful that my parents grew me up in the church, and um, I'm very glad that the Holy Spirit has worked in my life in a way that He's allowed me to kind of take my faith seriously and
Hmm.
be an advocate for what I believe in. And there was a time that I was like maybe I could get into this like motivational talk stuff, but um, I don't think that's I don't maybe sometime.
Well,
Maybe that's the what my adult life looks like in the future. I'm not too sure,
you have
but
such a positive vibe about you. So, and I can
yeah.
tell you really care for people too. So, it just
Well,
comes
thank you.
across greatly. And, do you have people that come when they're down? I mean, kind of gravitate to you to get
Hmm.
kind of where you can, you know, give them a boost. I mean, sometimes I have people like that are really down, and they know I'm almost always positive.
Hmm.
And do you have anything similar to that?
Yeah, I would definitely say that my friends, like they're able to confide in me and things, and I'm able to confide in them. Um, and I think in that relationship, there's so much trust and there's so much love,
Yes.
just for each other. And I think in those ways, I can always help them when they're down, and they can always help me when I'm down. And then
Yes.
even more so than friends, but my family is such big comforters of mine.
Cool.
Even though they're so far away from me right now, I have an amazing like relationship with my brother. He's one of my best friends, and
Excellent.
I really love having my mom and dad. They walk me through every overthinking moment that I have, and they give me advice and they counsel me and they just love on me, and I just appreciate like them sometimes putting up with me when I'm not the most um easiest to talk to, but they continue to show up for me, and I appreciate that for them.
And that's such a blessing. And we all have those times too.
Yes.
So, and I wonder if my sister talks the same because I'm her older brother, and I wonder if she does the same thing because we did not get along that well growing up. And but she's a truck driver now for the government, so
Wow,
I gotta
that's
behave.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never would guess, but yeah, she drives truck for the federal government. So, but I think we get along pretty well. But I see her like once a year, and that's
Mhm.
it. So when you go back to Houston, do you drive that or do you fly?
It just depends on what I'm really feeling, how long the trip's gonna be. Most of the time I try to drive. I make it one shot, the full 13 hours.
Is that
So
what it is? I was just going to say that's got to be a long
yes,
ways because Texas in itself is a long way to get into the state. So
yes, Yeah, so I usually try to drive, and then if the trip's long enough, then I might think about flying, but driving's just easiest sometimes.
No, that is pretty good. So, did I mean the holidays? Do you go down there for Christmas and stuff like that usually, or?
Yeah, usually Christmas is the time that I try to get down there the most. And if not Christmas, it's Thanksgiving or Easter. Those are just the big holidays that they mean
Okay.
a lot to our family, and those are the days I try to be with family as much as
Yeah.
possible.
And family is what it's all about. It is
Hmm.
very much. And do you have a big celebration at Christmas? I mean, traditions and everything like that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. We usually try to invite everyone over to either our house or to my aunt and uncle's house or my cousin's house,
Uh-huh.
and we actually celebrate Christmas pretty early compared to a lot of people, just because my I have a really busy family, so meeting on
Oh,
Christmas is very difficult.
getting
But we could
everybody, yeah.
always meet like December 10th, and
Yeah, it works.
just some
As
random
long as you
day.
celebrate.
Yes, and we usually do a lot of Mexican food, like tamales
Ah,
and stuff like that. Yeah, so.
so what kind of food? I mean, is it different than normal Mexican food, or is there something with Christmas and Mexican that go together?
There's no real significance to it. It's Tex-Mex, so it's
Oh, okay.
Texas Mexican food. So
Sounds good.
it's going to be a little mixture of both. It's awesome,
Cool.
but there's no real significance to it besides the fact that like our whole family's made up of foodies and we all love Mexican food, and
That
so
sounds good.
yes, so it's a
Really
great
good.
excuse to just eat a bunch of Mexican food.
So, do you like to cook?
Oh, I love to cook. Yes.
So, what's one of your favorite things to make?
Whew, man, it really depends. Like if I'm thinking kind of just want a home cooked meal, something that's super nostalgic. Um, I my mom has a famous recipe of chicken and rice, and it sounds super plain, but it's really yummy. It's super nostalgic, and
Okay.
but I love dipping into all genres of food. I love
Nice.
like Italian. I love Mexican. I love
Mhm.
sometimes I try to do some like Indian food as well. I'm not the
Wow, that
best at
sounds
it, but
good.
I definitely try.
No, I love it. And I mean, it has snowed in Houston, but it probably isn't snowed down there at most Christmases, is there?
So last winter it ended up snowing down there. I wasn't there for it, but they got a little bit of snow, a little bit of powdered sugar hit the ground, but
Like, that's about as much
definitely not
snow
compared to
as I
Nebraska.
like.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sorry.
you like snow?
I like the idea of snow. I don't
Me
I
too.
don't like the cold.
Uh-uh.
And when the snow melts, it just looks gross. It gets the
It
roads
does.
icy. But I think the first 30 minutes of snow is awesome. Like
Me
that's the
too.
best.
I like it when it's coming down, very big flakes, straight down, no wind.
Yes.
It's and then I get over it real fast. So, and
Yes.
when it gets down to zero with the wind blowing, and
Hmm.
I mean, I mean, does it get? It must get down to close to freezing if you had a little snow, but it probably doesn't get too cold down there.
No, no. So winter it's usually around the 60s most years.
Oh wow.
60s, 50s. The colder years it's around 30s or 40s.
Okay.
But most of the time there's some summers where I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt just because it's really not too bad.
I can
I
go for
love the winter. Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a couple years ago we went down to Florida,
Mhm.
and everybody thought it was cold down there. It's like, it was 50s and 60s. It's like this. I'm going back to zero.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and with the wind blowing and everything else like that. So, now,
Mhm.
so before we end the podcast, what other things would you like to share with the audience?
Man, I don't know. I think the biggest thing I'd like to share is just the fact that like I feel like my story is one where there's a lot of change.
Hmm.
And I've told a couple people this where I think that's a big theme of my life is things will change.
Oh yeah,
And no matter what you think life's going to look like in the future, it's probably not what's actually going to look like.
true.
So don't be a stranger, or yeah, don't be a stranger to change, and let things happen, and just know that God's there through everything, and that
Amen.
um, nothing's gonna stop him from loving you, and he's always gonna look out for you. So if that's the case, then let God make changes in my life because he's just gonna work all things for our good. So
Yes, amen. I love that, and that's a great way to end the podcast. And you are so inspirational. I look forward to watching your journey. So,
thank you.
and you're still working at Junto?
I am, yes.
Okay. I'm supposed to do. They got the grapes harvested out there.
I think we're still in the harvest process,
Okay.
but
Because they
almost
wanted to
done.
wait until after that. So I might see you then when I'm over there doing a podcast. So,
Sounds great.
and that'll be fun. But I just, yeah, it's probably a good thing it's quite a ways away for me to go there. I'd be there all the time. So, but
It's a
that
little
is
too tempting. Yep.
such a beautiful surrounding and everything like that. So,
Hmm. Yep.
Evan, thank you for joining us on the Dreamcatcher podcast.
Well, thank
And,
you so much for having me.
oh, thank you. And have a good evening, and we'll be talking soon.
All right. Thank you.